Hey everybody, Elizabeth Nader back with you. The Nader Narrative on Jersey First TV. I'm excited about this interview tonight because it's bringing back something that inspired me years ago, the Walk Away campaign. And I have so many friends and so many people I know that were involved in Walk Away. And it's back, guys, and we're here to talk about it. I want to welcome Damien, Jarrett, and Eric Davidson. Both of them are going to tell their stories, and we're just excited to hear from them. So, Erica, I'm going to start with you. You are a New Jersey girl. You're part of Walkaway. Tell us your story.
I am born and bred in New Jersey. That is true. Politically, I tended to vote both sides of the aisle, depending on the candidate. But then as things kind of went too far left for me, I kind of gelled on this side. A friend of mine introduced me to Walkaway, and I just was taken with the organization, their focus, their mission. Just the people were the breath of people from all different groups in every sense of the word. So I joined Walkaway, and then I became an activist. I was a moderator, and now I'm state leader for activism, which I am very excited about. We have so many good things that are happening, that we're developing, that are coming. And I also think because of everything that is going on, the time is right.
Yeah, I think so too. The time is right to talk about this again, and like the rebirth and the resurgence that Damien and I have talked about. Before I get to you, Damien, I want to show the clip of the original video, just a portion of it from Brandon Straka, who most people remember established Walkaway in 2018, right, Damien? 2018?
That's correct.
And he was really so inspiring to so many people who could relate to him, as Erica sort of mentioned, and then people started making these videos. Let's take a look quickly, go back in time here, not so long ago, and take a peek into that video.
Once upon a time, I was a liberal. But liberalism has changed, and I will no longer be a part of an ideology or political party that represents everything that contradicts my values of unity, equal opportunity, personal empowerment, compassion, and love. So I am walking away. And I encourage all of you to do the same. Walk away.
Well, Damien, Brandon surely inspired so many people. Tell us about how you got involved, and also how that video and what Brandon did when he stepped out, how it really changed so many people's lives in this country.
Thank you. Yeah, no, absolutely. As you can all tell, you can tell from my accent, I am a British immigrant. I came to America in 2017 as a liberal. So I'm a true walkaway. I have explained to Elizabeth before we came on this call that I came here a Jeremy Corbyn voting, and that is a true socialist vote right there. Remain voting liberal, a paying Labour Party member. And when I came to America, there was a big culture shock. I didn't understand America as I thought I had, coming here on holiday so often, coming over to watch my favorite sports teams. I thought I understood America. I didn't. And it really forced me to open my eyes, and more importantly, open my ears and listen to people with differing points of view. And that really put me on a journey from 2018 onwards to 2020. And that really brings me to where I discovered Walkaway. It was a tough transition. It was really tough. I lost a lot of friends as I started to question certain ideologies, and it was Walkaway. It was finding Brandon's video, finding the Walkaway movement. I initially joined in the state group up here in Massachusetts, where I now live. That video and Brandon's movement really gave me the courage and the support structure to make that final decision to walk away officially from liberalism, from socialism, and the Democrat Party.
And, as Brandon has said, and I've seen him say before, it's not so much about going to a different party, although we are a two-party system in this country, right? And that's how it works. And I don't think that's going to change. Erica, though, it makes a lot of sense that obviously you're leaving the Democrats, coming to the Republicans, but it's not just for Democrats, is it? It's really more of a philosophy. When you saw that video and you made your own, what were you reacting to sort of emotionally that really stuck with you, that made you say, oh my gosh, this is me?
Well, because the walkaway movement is so open, we discuss a variety of ideas. It's not closed. When you're talking to the Democrats, they're very closed-minded, even though they propose to be, the open-minded, loving party. They're very cruel to people who have any opposing view. So that is kind of what gelled with me, as well as the values. Walkaway, we believe in core values. The Constitution is key. Individualism. So the core values as well. The Democrats tend to have more of a victim mentality, which doesn't really resonate with me. Of course, we want to help everybody do better in life. So that's what gelled it for me.
You make a good point, Erica, that it's the openness of the movement versus what's happened to the Democrats. And, Damien, having not grown up here, but you didn't see it firsthand, but now I'm sure you have the perspective that the Democrats have changed. They've changed greatly from what many of us remember or were at least taught about the Kennedy Democrats, and that party is not the same. Do you believe that the Republicans fully understand the walkaway ideal, and are they a good destination for those who want to walk away?
That's a very good question. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think the Republicans, I think conservatives can be guilty of groupthink too. And I always urge people, as someone who was a liberal and is now a conservative, I urge people to understand that I truly believe conservatism is an open church. We have fiscal conservatives that are still socially liberal in some ways, and that they're going to vary in belief, in their belief system, compared to some evangelical conservatives. Right. And that's okay. Where I think Erica touched on it perfectly, what Walkaway is about is uniting the American people behind the core values and the founding principles of this country. And I said, I've said a number of times, the Constitution isn't liberal nor conservative. It's designed for everybody, regardless of what you think. And I do think sometimes Republicans can weaponize that Constitution too. However, I do, and I think we have to check ourselves, because I think that is very easy to do. We're human. We make mistakes, and we need to check ourselves when that happens. The Democrats have walked away, ironically, in the complete opposite direction, away from those core values, away from the founding principles of the Constitution. And while we are an open-ended journey, absolutely, we are about arming you with the information to make the right decision. My personal belief is, obviously, in this two-party system, the right decision is to vote Republican at this time.
Getting back to our founding core principles, as you say, and not focusing so much on party, but of course, as you point out, there is a choice, one or the other. But Erica, when you think about getting back to our core values and the Constitution, and that would include the New Jersey State Constitution, the last 2 years, if you didn't walk away before, which of course started in 2018, the past 2 years of COVID, especially in New Jersey, have felt as though we have no constitution at times. How much has that impacted the work you do? And have you seen more people looking to join your organization or relate to what you guys are talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. With everything going on, not just COVID, what's going on in the schools, what's happening with small businesses. When you talk to people, as I said before, the time is really right for us to make an impact. You could talk to anybody, and you could always have a common ground, a point that resonates with them. And you take it from there. Because people say to me, well, how do you get people to walk away? And it's not that we're forcibly getting people to walk away. It's like they're coming to us and we're opening the door and we're communicating. So I think that's key. But definitely with what happened in New Jersey. Yeah. And I don't think it, Damien also comes from a blue state. There's a lot of distrust out there. There's a lot of frustration. And people are getting more involved than they have in the past, and they're paying attention more,
Right.
which I've noticed as well. So
Yeah, they are absolutely paying more attention, especially parents.
yeah.
Right? Damien, when you think about Brandon stepping out like this in 2018, at the time we all probably thought, well, yes, we see what he's saying, and so many people responded. But in a lot of ways, he was ahead of his time, sort of not knowing what was in front of us. And then he paid a pretty heavy price, a lot of canceling, social media canceling, and then a very heavy price being involved in January 6th, just, wanting to step out and fight for the voices of the people that didn't feel represented. So all of that price being paid, you are now coming back. I want you to talk about how Walk Away, which, has been through a lot of darkness with cancel culture and all those things, how this resurgence is happening, and talk about the PAC and what you're leading with all of that.
Yep. So we've always wanted to be more political. When the organization was initially founded, we were just a 501c3 foundation. A lot of our messaging was around the radical left and cancel culture and such. Now we have decided we want to be more political. We want to take the fight directly to the Democrat Party. And to do that, we obviously needed to establish a political action committee. So we have created the political action committee. We are going to be a hybrid PAC. We were initially founded as a super PAC. We've downgraded to a hybrid PAC. So it gives us a little bit of the best of both worlds of both a normal traditional PAC and the super PAC. So we've established that, and that is where the new grassroots movement is going to be coming into play. And we have formed a new partnership with Trump's former campaign manager, Brad Pascal, to work on a political software that is uncancelable. Because as you said, we've been through a lot of cancellations. As I grew the PAC from the ground up to kind of put the infrastructure in place technologically, there were a lot of companies that refused to work with us. Nation Builder, they advertise themselves as apolitical. They refused to work with us. A number of big organizations just refused. And we've had to kind of piecemeal it together with organizations that would work with us. We've never been able to find one solution to kind of bring all that together. And Brad is trying to do that and is obviously willing to work with us and provide us an uncancelable solution. His technology is going to revolutionize the way we campaign. It's going to be scalable. So whether you are Donald Trump, who also uses Brad's software, which is in beta testing right now, and we're part of that beta test. So whether it's Donald Trump running a presidential campaign, or whether it's a smaller grassroots organization on the ground knocking doors, this is going to be a scalable solution for everyone. It's going to bring conservatives all on one page, and we're super excited about that.
So this is tools are important, right? And this is something that, Erica, you'll be able to use to build your presence in New Jersey. What does it look like in New Jersey right now for Walk Away? Tell us what you're doing, how you're growing, where you see the most amount of new members, if you will. Tell us about what's happening in New Jersey.
Well, as I said before, everybody is really more involved and paying more attention. We're going to have a very aggressive campaign in New Jersey for Walk Away. I am looking for district leaders for the county, so I will put that out there. Okay. If anyone is interested. We will be having a series of meetups across the state, which we will publicize. We will be inviting local candidates, congressional candidates, as well as other speakers to those events. And we're doing a lot on social media. We are still, unfortunately, on Facebook. We have to be, because we have to speak to that side. And, just talking to people, calling people, trying to get people to volunteer and work with me on Walk Away. I'm also part of a symposium, the advocacy group. You're probably familiar with it. So I'm talking to other grassroots organizations throughout the state, and we're kind of working together to get the Walk Away name out there. They have been more than helpful in offering to do what they can, because everybody sees Walk Away as key at this point in time. So, and we're also targeting those segments of the population and those parts of the state that are historically Democratic. Those are the people we want to talk to. So that is a big focus of what Walkaway is doing as well.
You can talk to them in a way that the Republicans can't, right? You can talk to them in a way where they understand your language. And I think that's incredibly beneficial. Do you feel, Erica, like the legislators in New Jersey on the Republican side, do they understand Walkaway? What do you talk to them about when you interface with the Republican legislators? Are they supportive?
Well, they're all supportive. I mean, none of them are going to not be supportive because, of course, they want votes. And New Jersey is a, 2-1?
2-1.
Yeah, Democratic state. I feel depending on the specific candidate, how much they understand and are excited about Walkaway. No candidate is going to turn us away. But there are some candidates who are more excited and really want to work with us, especially targeting those populations and areas of the state that are heavily Democratic.
Right. Well, I asked that question because, Damien, Brandon did pay a high price. And as you say, it's been a cancel culture for you guys, really trying to work with other organizations and just going through this period. How is he doing now? How has he weathered that storm? And is he ready to start fighting again?
Oh, he's absolutely ready. I think going through everything he has over the last 16 months, it's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Obviously, it was almost a year to the day of his arrest. We finally got a sentencing. There were 5 continuances of his case. While they were trying to probe for information, and there were people with far more complicated cases that were getting resolved quicker than he was. So it was frustrating. And I will be honest, we weren't expecting house arrest. To completely honest with you, that wasn't something that was really on our minds. So I think after the initial sentencing came down, the fact that he was able to speak out was a relief. We're into month 3 of his 3-month house arrest, and I think it's definitely been very frustrating for him. But we are now just days away from that ending. He will be released from that on April 28th, and he is very much raring to go. He's not beaten at all. This is actually really just empowered the organization and Brandon even more so than we were before. It says it's just given us more drive to push forward and kind of, we're going to be announcing some pretty exciting endorsements coming up in the next few weeks, right, of certain candidates. I don't want to kind of run spoilers now, but we're going to be taking the fight to not only Democrats, but certain Republicans that decided that they wanted to weaponize the Constitution against their own citizens.
Well, and that's part of this story, right? And that the fact that our own party, if you want to own it, actually created some of this, and it's disappointing. And I think that's something that a lot of us are looking to change in the midterms here, which is exciting, an opportunity to get common sense back into our party, and begin to get the people in place that will actually hold the values that we all believe in and not turn on us, really. Erica, midterms coming up in New Jersey. We have 12 seats that are open in Congress. Are you feeling that there's a red wave in New Jersey? I'm asking you more just Republican to Republican. What are you sensing? And do you have a lot of hope for those races?
I do sense a red wave. I think New Jersey's more red than people think.
Agreed.
Sorry.
No problem.
I have 2 phones here. I shut one off. I forgot about the other.
Of course.
Yeah, I think New Jersey's more red than we think. And, with people, especially with the schools, that's really resonating with people. Yeah. We have a very good chance of doing very well in 2022.
Well, when you look at the numbers of New Jersey, and Damien, you got to give Erica a big raise. I'm sure we're saying that in quotes because she's working in a tough state, but she has a lot of opportunity. And as mentioned, is 2-1. But we also have unaffiliated, the same number of unaffiliated almost as registered Democrats. I think what we learned in Virginia is a lot of the unaffiliateds actually agree with the social conservatives on the social conservative issues, right? And so we have that opportunity across the board, I think, in New Jersey. And Damien, really, that's part of, I think, people identifying which party actually they agree with. And if you go back to the basics of what Brandon said in that first video, he sort of woke up to the fact that I don't agree with you anymore. You know, I didn't leave you, you left me, is sort of the sentiment, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%. You know, there, of course, the Democrats could come back to the center and they would make our job a lot more challenging if they decided to do that. Unfortunately, they're not very smart about it. You talk about the parents. I think the Democrats are making huge mistakes in going after parents. You know, these core, we talk about the core values. These core, well, parents want to have a say in their children's education. They always have. They want to have a say in their children's upbringing. That's all they want. And unfortunately, the government, we saw it with the church. I know I'm not an overly religious person myself, but I can see that the government, the Democrat Party in particular, saw the church as a threat. They attacked the church for that reason. They undermined the church for that very reason, and they have inserted themselves in its place. Well, we've seen what that's done to American society, right? Well, now they're trying to do the same with parents, and they're trying to control the way our children think, and they understand that if they can do that, that is the key to their power. Republicans, we want the Republican side of things. We want parents to make those decisions for their children, whether we agree with that decision or not. That's your right as a parent to make that decision.
Well, you know, it's basic stuff. In a lot of ways, it's common sense. If I told you 10 years ago we'd be fighting to be able to make decisions for our children, what goes in their body, what goes on their body, what they look at, what they listen to, you would have told me that I'm crazy. But here we are fighting for basic things. And I think what I'm hearing you say about walk away is that focus again on the foundational issues, the foundations of our country. If we all get back to that and understand it. But Erica, we need to teach that too. I'm not so sure that what I've seen in the New Jersey schools, that we're actually teaching the Constitution, we're teaching the foundational documents. If you don't know your rights, you won't even recognize when they've been taken away from you. So this is a lot of people waking up, isn't it, to understanding what it really means to be an American and the gift that we have in this country. And that over the years we've been sleeping and slowly but surely taken away in the last 24 months, really extreme in New Jersey. New Jersey recently got an F minus. I don't think that I even knew that existed, but it is an F minus by a bunch of economists and really intelligent people who said we've so mishandled the pandemic. Do you agree with the F minus, Erica?
I absolutely do. You see it wherever you go. You look at the number of small businesses that have closed and those that are open are struggling. You were right. You said that people were just living their lives. And as we're living our lives, our rights got chipped away. Now people are waking up. And I think what is really important is we have to get people to get involved. And you have to understand that to be involved, you don't have to, do it 40 hours a week. If you have an hour a week or 2 hours or whatever you can do, that's more, if 1,000 people did an hour a week, that's a lot. It adds up. So part of my challenge is to educate as well as get people involved, even if it's just for a little bit of time. And Damien went over that campaign nucleus. That's going to help us do that, because you could get involved from your home. If you have small children, if you don't have the flexibility to leave.
Sorry, go ahead. Yep.
So, that is one of my main focuses right now.
Well, it's what you're talking about is really sort of armchair advocacy, and not everyone can get out and do something. And, almost all people in grassroots are doing it out of a desire to see their children live a better life, to see this country, turn back to what it was. No one's getting wealthy doing this. Everyone's doing it on their time and on their dime for the most part. It's just that desire to see things change. And I think, Erica, the fact that you can give people different things to do, and let's talk about that, Damien, now with the PAC and with the technology, what do you ask people to do? Because we want to leave people with really, to-dos and activation and next steps. So what with the PAC in general can people do now?
Awesome. And Erica touched on a great thing. So I'm going to touch on both the boots on the ground and the online advocacy side of things that we're building here. So if you can activate and become a boots on the ground activist, we would love to have you. And you can go to www.walkawaypack.org, click on the volunteer tab. It will take you through to our volunteer form, and you'll come through the campaign nucleus to us directly, and we'll have a nice record of you, and we'll be in touch. We are going to be hosting on the state and county levels meet and greets, rallies, standouts. We're going to be endorsing candidates from the PAC standpoint as well, and getting behind those candidates by knocking on doors together. And Brandon and myself will be part of that. So that's a huge aspect of what we're doing. But we do also understand, as Erica said, not everybody can do that. That takes a lot out of people. Whether it's family commitments, whether it's age, whether it's money, there's a lot of stuff that hold people back from getting out. So we are setting up the tools online for you guys to be able to have a voice, restore the people's voice, whether it's from like you said, whether it's from your armchair or whether it's on the ground itself. So you can go to the Advocacy Center on our website, and you can see right now an example of a call to action. It's our first call to action that we have done. And it is a call to suspend the federal gas tax to help alleviate some of that pressure on American citizens, and drill American to help reduce prices, to help bolster national security. That is a simple ask. Not everybody knows how to contact their representative or their senators. So what we have done is we have put a system on our website where you go in, you punch in your information, you fill out your address. It will identify who your representative is, who your senators are. We have a pre-drafted message that fits with the core values and the founding principles of this country. And all you have to do is hit send. You don't have to type anything out. All you need to do is put your address in there. Your information is, I know obviously people, when you say enter your address, people get very pessimistic. We protect your information. We don't sell your information. We do not provide your information to anybody else. That is just Walkaway's information. And that's kind of the key thing here is giving people, not just arming people with the information to make the decision to walk away, like we all have, but it's also to arm them with the tools to make them feel like they're being heard.
So that initial focus now is on energy. And when someone fills that out, it will go to their legislators and let them know, hey, we want you to do X, Y, or Z. And you're going to use that tool. Right now it's on energy and the gas tax and drilling, but it'll be any issue. And that's how people can advocate. They don't have to figure out what the email address is. They don't need to figure out what the mailing address is. They just go to you. And obviously also donations. And that's really important. I always tell people it's time, treasure, and talent. Everybody can do a little bit of all of those things. A lot of small dollars go a long way for PACs like yours. So I'm assuming that's also part of it, that you would hope people can support.
Absolutely. And I understand in the current climate, which this climate isn't going to get any better. It's a tough ask. To ask people for money. I feel bad. I'm a sales guy myself as a full-time job. I really don't like asking people for money, especially when inflation is as it is. However, we've touched over 1 million people, and I always say if a million people just gave $1 a month to walk away, we would achieve our goal. So I'm not asking you guys to donate $50, $100. I understand where we're all going through this together right now, this current economic crisis. However, if you do have the ability to donate just $1 a month, that helps. It absolutely does help. And all that money goes towards technology to provide you with tools to contact your legislatures like that. And it gives us the ability to get out on the ground and buy marketing materials and buy leaflets and buy flyers that we can post in people's letterboxes. It all goes towards that in order to spread our message.
There is magic in small dollars. So no one should feel like just a tiny bit doesn't matter. It's amazing how that adds up. So let's end the interview, Erica, just specific to New Jersey. Damien's given us a good viewpoint of how Walkaway campaign is coming back in an amazing way, and the technology and the focus. We're going to see so much more. Give people in New Jersey some specific things they can do, how they can reach out to you, how they can be part of what you're trying to do in this state.
Well, Damien did announce our website, and if you go on that website and put your information in and volunteer, I will definitely get back to you. Also check out our Walkaway New Jersey Facebook page, where we'll be listing events that we're going to be starting to have starting in May.
More to come, right? More to come.
Yeah.
More to come as we head towards the midterms. And in New Jersey, every year there's an election. So we are constantly talking to people about the issues. So I just want to thank both of you so much for your time, for what you're doing, for your dedication. As a grassroots person, I'm fully aware of the commitment that this takes outside of day jobs, families, and all the things that we have to do, right? So you're both very focused, and we appreciate that. And to my audience, guys, maybe it's time to walk away. It's a message that has been there, but it's fresh again. Consider it. If you're frustrated and unhappy with what's happened, maybe it's time to walk away. Give Erica a call. Check out the PAC website. And just understand that if we all do this together, things can change very quickly. Erica, Damien, thank you guys so much. You're patriots. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having us.
All right. And to my audience, we'll see